Here we go. Good morning, everybody. We
We got a rack of them coming.
This is just
Holy smokes.
breaking news. This is right outside of Nancy Guthrie's house. The FBI.
And they're feds. Suits.
From the Fed.
Holy smoke. Law enforcement.
Good morning.
Oh my goodness.
Feds rolling up on Nancy Guthrie's house.
Whoa. Big deal. They're just all over the place. Dude, feds everywhere.
Holy shit. They came in hot. Dang. Holy shit.
Feds all over the place.
The feds coming in hot on Nancy Guthrie's house.
Definitely feds.
This is from just moments ago. We're still on a live feed here. Hit that like button for me, guys. Come on in. Come on in. Breaking news.
What the heck?
Holy smokes.
Nice. Look at that. Suits.
That is federal agents.
Yo. Dude, they came in.
Nanos. Where's Nanos at? Do you guys see Nanos? I didn't see that dude. I saw suits. Attorneys maybe? No, that's feds.
They're feds.
Yeah, feds for sure.
Yeah.
Hi.
Dang, FBI is no joke, guys.
They came in quick.
They came in hot. They
Make sure you hit the like button.
Nanos is probably sleeping right now, guys. Come on. Feds. Everybody's saying feds.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Hello. Some breaking news from outside of Nancy Guthrie's house. We are a couple minutes behind the live stream so we can show you federal agents arriving.
They came down the wrong way? Yeah.
FBI here. Dude, there's 3 SUVs that came in Tahoes.
It's meant to delete. Oops. Fixed it. Live outside the Guthrie house, Nancy Guthrie's home. Breaking news here, guys. What are they looking for? What did they find? What did they know? Well, the vehicles came all in a caravan, but I mean, they're not going to run up.
Dude, they came down here quick, man. They came down the one-way street. They went the opposite way.
Go back a little bit. You'll see how they came in. Definitely federal vehicles rolling up onto the Guthrie residence.
Something is cooking, folks. Something. Let me just show you here.
This would indicate that they have something.
These black Tahoes. Something is cooking here. This one. And there's another one I think I pulled over there by the side. I don't want to go in front of everyone's camera. Block everyone's view. Where's that other SUV? Back. So there's one in the back there, along with another white SUV. One. There's another one.
Wow.
So they're all here.
You can see the yellow ribbon on the
right
porch.
here. They're going to all come around this corner. This could be the break of the case. Serious stuff going on right here.
Definitely breaking news in the Nancy Guthrie case. Come in, everyone. Come in. Welcome. How you doing? Good to see you. Hit that like button for me, guys. That gets the video out, helps out the channel. Appreciate it. Subscribe, grab yourself some coffee.
Now I have to keep an eye on the road and see if even more come.
And we'll just cut to this part here where you see
Oh, yeah, the front door,
agents by the front door. Now remember, $1 million reward was put up by Savannah Guthrie.
Front door. Going back over. Appears they're all in the front door.
Jeez. Come on. There we go. That's what it is. So they're at the front door of the Guthrie home. Brian Enton said their drones saw people entering from the back.
This appears to be an entire Fed operation going on, folks.
We're going to take a look at the two latest videos from Savannah. Let's have a look at these here and have a listen to what she's saying.
I wanted to come on, and it's been 2 weeks since our mom was taken, and I just wanted to come on and say that we still have hope, and
Hi.
we still
Great
believe.
day. Thank you.
And I wanted to say to whoever has her or knows where she is that it's never too late.
I feel like she's talking to someone that she knows or something. I don't know why.
And you're not lost
You're not lost
or alone.
or alone.
And it is never too late to do the right thing. And we are here. And we believe. And we believe in the essential goodness of every human being. And it's never too late. I wanted to come on and
So that is from just a couple of days ago, right? And we're going back outside the house here as media and agents canvass the Guthrie home. Give you a wider shot here. Going. There we go. Investigators, federal agents. You think so? From the family? That would be so crazy. I mean, that would just be wild if it was like one of it just.
Just took a picture.
Definitely family, you think? Well, there's the most recent video
I will say,
that
viewers,
we
I
have
believe this is an
from
entire.
Savannah, and this is one where she offers $1 million for the safe return or just return of her mother. I think people are sort of seeing that this is not a situation where this poor lady might come back from. We pray that she does. Here we go.
Hi there. I'm coming on to say it is day 24 since our mom was taken in the dark of night from her bed. And every hour and minute and second and every long night has been agony since then of worrying about her and fearing for her and aching for her. And most of all, just missing her. Just missing her.
Ugh.
We know that millions of you have been praying. So many people have been praying of every faith and no faith at all. Praying for her return. And we feel those prayers. Please keep praying without ceasing. We still believe. We still believe in a miracle. We still believe that she can come home. Hope against hope. As my sister says, we are blowing on the embers of hope. We also know that she may be lost. She may already be gone.
Oof.
She may have already gone home to the Lord that she loves.
Oh.
And is dancing in heaven with her mom and her dad and with her beloved brother Pierce and with our daddy. And if this is what is to be, then we will accept it. But we need to know where she is. We need her to come home. For that reason, we are offering a family reward of up to $1 million for any information that leads us to her recovery.
Ugh.
All of the information about this reward and the details is in the caption below. You can call the 1-800 tip line. You can be anonymous if you want. Someone out there knows something that can bring her home. Somebody knows. We are begging you to please come forward now.
Unimaginable.
We also know that we are not alone in our loss. We know there are millions of families that have suffered with this kind of uncertainty. And for that reason today, we also are donating $500,000 to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children for their work in helping families who are coping with loss and actively looking for those who are lost. We are hoping that the attention that has been given to our mom and our family will extend to all the families like ours who are in need.
Wow.
And need prayers and need support. So please, if you hear this message, if you've been waiting and you haven't been sure, let this be your sign. So please come forward, tell what you know, and help us bring our beloved mom home so that we can either celebrate a glorious, miraculous homecoming or celebrate the beautiful, brave and courageous and noble life that she has lived. Please be the light in the dark.
Oh, God, dude.
Thank you.
Jesus. That is horrifying. Oh. Let's head back to outside the house here. We're going to push up a little bit. We've seen the investigators outside. Now we see, what do we got here? What do we got here? We're going to push up to some more media and some more of this live coverage.
Somebody dropped off somebody on the truck, then left, 30 minutes came back, and with another person.
Two arrived. The back vehicle appears to let some agents in. That back vehicle left. Then one agent, while one was inside, left, came back and brought a female agent.
Okay.
And I'm assuming those ones in the white vehicle are agents, I'm assuming. Then they went inside, and then a convoy of these black SUVs came. 3 of them, yep. That's how the feds do it anyway. They roll in. They're rolling deep like that. But this is when's the last time the feds were here at this
Day
house?
25.
We haven't seen them.
So now
This is like serious stuff. I mean, because they were analyzing the front, they were taking pictures there on the side of the house. They were, they were all front. They're walking around. They're
And
in the
FBI
house,
agents
outside the house.
the Guthrie house.
I think they're reevaluating this whole situation, possibly maybe even taking a lead on this and just saying, kick the curb, Nanos. I'm just speculating on that
I
one.
think I made speculations. Maybe the sheriff department finally decided to hand over the case to
Maybe.
the FBI. And
Maybe.
All right, this morning the case is yours. Take over.
Yeah,
That's what
take
they
it
did.
over. Or we're going to take it over, regardless if you like it or not. I mean, because it's, we just heard, the FBI's moving their headquarters to Phoenix. Maybe this has something that maybe, with this case, has something to do with it, And Lynn Clue, thank you. Thank you, Lynn Clue. Kay Miller, thank you. I appreciate that. 20 gifted memberships. Thank you, and I appreciate that. Very, very grateful. Your support helps us.
So we're going to go from here right over to this article. It's an article about the blood and DNA evidence wasn't quite enough.
Development in the search for Nancy Guthrie. Sources telling CBS News the DNA that was collected at her Tucson home may not generate a usable profile of the suspect. The sheriff's office sent that DNA to a private lab in Florida instead of the FBI. Now, the lab is still analyzing the samples at this point. And Guthrie's family, including Today's Show co-host Savannah Guthrie, announced a family reward now at $1 million for information.
So, $1 million for information. They couldn't get enough DNA to get it out of the FBI archives to find a match. So that's happening.
The doormat. Take it.
Live
Just
outside
take
the
it.
Guthrie
Doesn't hurt.
house.
Might catch something down there. Some sort of footprint fiber or some sort of footprint, something, determine the size of the shoe, maybe of the perp.
And this is live true crime in the making, guys.
Maybe they're getting
I
new
like
DNA,
that.
Sherry H9038 says, since Nanos messed up the DNA by sending it to his Florida lab. That's coming from Sherry. Beagle Mom, thank you. Beagle Mom. Thank you, Cindy West. Thank you. Your Dog, 3851. Thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. Thank you. 5 new members of the JLR Army, courtesy of Your Dog 3851.
Nice.
Now I'm going to sit here and look here a little bit and kind of read around, see what this is, and try to understand more. We're going to keep it here because it's nice and cool under the shade here. It is hot in that sun. A lot of people here with umbrellas and whatnot. Tammy Locke, 4349. Thank you so much. Thank you for the 20 gifted memberships. Thank you. The JLR Army
We got
is
another
growing.
story we're going to jump over to right here about the husband visiting the Today Show is what it says here. So let's have a look.
Today, emotional moments on the set of NBC's Today Show. News Nation senior story editor Paula Froelich is here with more. Paula, Savannah Guthrie's husband, Michael Feldman, he took time to travel to New York City amid his mother-in-law, Nancy Guthrie's disappearance, for a visit with her crew. This wasn't anything on air. This was, I'm told, a private meeting between him and her co-workers.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely. So at this point, the entire staff of the Today Show, and they're saying from top to actual bottom, top of the company to janitors have tried to support her, and they're also invested in finding Nancy at this point, that they've really been so supportive. He wanted to thank them personally. So he has been going back and forth from New York City to Arizona because, you know, again, they have 2 kids who are in school. So he's doing the supporting of the home and wanted to just stop by and say, thank you guys so much. We see you, we hear you, and we appreciate you. And Savannah wished she could be there, but of course she is completely overwhelmed with the search for her mother right now.
I still can't believe this story is even real, Paula, and that we're in
100%.
week 4. 30 seconds left. Did he offer any sort of insights as to what her future might look like? Or do you know if the network has even broached that topic with her yet about her return?
They have not, although as I've reported, at some point she's just kind of like, I don't know what I can do. I don't think I can go back. Of course, it's moving parts.
Well, The Scoop with News Nation senior story editor Paula Froelich. We'll see what comes next.
So that is Michael Feldman, the husband of Savannah Guthrie, visiting the set of the Today Show. Let's go back live. Outside of the Guthrie home, the FBI has pulled up. They have now entered the home, the very place she was last seen before vanishing into thin air, supposedly, as it seems anyway. They're probably going room by room, pulling more evidence bags. And it still seems to be treated like an active, evolving crime scene. And after, you know, all the ransom clocks and hoaxes and suspect photos, SWAT activity, the fact that they're back inside this house in force raises many new questions. Did investigators get a big new lead? Is this from the ransom? Are they rechecking everything because they're running out of options? What do you guys think in the chat? Let me know. Hit the like button and subscribe. Would appreciate it. You know how it works. So still some visible activity. Agents in and out of the house at the Guthrie residence. Evidence bags, possible new equipment. Welcome everyone. Come in, come in. Hit the like button for me. I appreciate it. Yes, this is happening now.
Yeah, it's really interesting. They spent some time looking down at that rock and then behind me, we saw someone spring out inside the home and really examining, looking down that precise area. So obviously, that is an area of extreme interest for investigators. They are spending some time in that area.
So we have to ask ourselves why going back matters at this point. Why is this being treated like a scene that's not processed and done? But returning to the house can also be suggesting new information or perhaps new eyes on old evidence. Thank you for joining me, guys. Hit that like button. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Come in, come in. Take your shoes off. Smoke them if you got them. Thank you and welcome new subscribers. Appreciate you guys. We're getting close to 30,000 subs on this channel. It's pretty exciting.
feel like saying, otherwise.
See what this FBI stuff is about. NRO. I agree that they should take the doormat. I agree 100% they should take the doormat. Thank you, Lynn Clue. Thank you. Thank you, Lynn Clue. Absolutely think they should take the doormat. But who knows? We don't know what they're going to come out with. They've been here now for over, probably close to an hour now. Because we were ready to go to Mount Lemon. Yeah, they've been close here for an hour now. So. Where they at? Where they at? Where they at? Right over here. Here they are. Side of the house. Side of the house. They're looking on the left side of the house. So we'll be focusing on the left side of the house.
Hey, do me a favor, guys. Put a 1 in the chat if you think Nancy is still alive. Put a 2 in the chat if you think she is no longer with us. 1 if she's alive, 2 if she's no longer with us. Let me hear what you guys think in the chat.
They're behind that wall over there on the left side of the house. You see some movement over there. I don't see him anymore. We're just out there at the left side of the house.
I'm glad. I think normal human beings with a, reasonable level of compassion for other human beings care. There are a lot of missing people, though, that do need to be paid attention to. So there are two sides to that coin, but I don't think anybody has a lack of caring.
Well, this tells me back that they are wanting today. This tells me that
You just don't know. So, Glenn, is that a 1 or a 2 that you're voting? Okay, you put in 3. 3 is, none of the above. Welcome, everybody. Come in. Hit that like button.
Current scene
Greetings,
out here.
everyone.
Large amount of media gathering out here.
This is a good-looking crowd in here today. Look at you.
People out here just waiting to see what these FBI agents do.
No, they haven't. But Savannah Guthrie putting she's also an expert. Most of the response last night today, first time during this she posted a dance, which I found interesting because that's really the media is. So I don't know how that Savannah she's also check out our website. All of our social I'm going to go back yesterday. What's today? Today is day 25. So you had on Monday, it started to see, you wonder, Monday, ABC pulled out, and you started to see some individuals start to jump on.
That's a good point. People said if they leave, you should just drive over to Annie's house because they could be going over there next. That's a great point. That is an excellent point. Has anyone considered that afterward, like over to Annie and Tommaso's house?
What do you guys think about the brother-in-law?
That might be something we should consider.
Tommaso, the brother-in-law. What do you guys think? Isn't everything Lisa? Isn't it all? Mopey.
Anyone know what's
FBI
going
pulling
on,
up outside of the Nancy Guthrie home.
if there's any activity going over there now?
Some live activity here, guys. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Appreciate you.
Well, oh, we have a guy with drone. There's no activity going on. They're all inside.
The media has their own drone.
I think they just came out and they went to the left, but they went back in.
Yes, there's a brother-in-law named Tommaso.
But I'll go find that out. Hold on, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go find out if they're out.
The husband of the sister.
I'm gonna go ask another drone guy. I'll come back in about a few minutes and report.
It's been going on for about an hour. Who, the brother?
So, there's been a pattern. There's been a pattern. For anyone who's paid attention, there is definitely a pattern between breaking down the crime scene, doing too many visitors, misspeaking, video of precinct Saturday night and Sunday, him being at that basketball game, him suddenly then going to that apartment.
Thank you very much.
Ready? Paying attention. I've been saying, and I was telling you, I had a problem with the timing. And it turns out I was right that there was a problem with the timing. Because the timing does not start. They were saying,
It's in, baby.
Starts that night before January 31st, 1945. You dropped off, garage door open, closed, boom, that begins. That's not the timeline. The timeline now is bumped back to January 11th. And that individual sleeping on his first season. I knew there was a problem. So what's behind it is this more and more could be starting to look like some
Are they?
So, but right
Now, there's some tips that have rolled in, and we're going to take a look at that story right now.
21 minutes after the hour, everybody, and today's show host Savannah Guthrie and her family are now offering $1 million reward to find their mom, Nancy. Police believe an armed, masked man took the 84-year-old, and Guthrie says they still believe in miracles, but have to come to terms with some hard truths.
We also know that she may be lost. She may already be gone.
News Nation national correspondent Nancy Liu is outside the Guthrie home in Arizona this morning. I mean, Nancy, just a heartbreaking new video from Savannah. She reportedly wanted a high reward from the very beginning, but police kind of feared false leads from that. It looks like they're getting a ton of fresh round of tips after that new video was posted yesterday.
Yeah, that's right, Marky. The new $1 million reward is bringing in hundreds of new tips. The FBI telling us that about 750 possible new leads have flooded in since the latest plea from Savannah Guthrie.
To please come forward, tell what you know, and help us bring our beloved mom home.
The hope is that the $1 million reward could motivate someone close to the suspect to turn him in. Sources tell News Nation Savannah Guthrie was discouraged from offering such a significant reward right after the kidnapping to prevent investigators from getting inundated. Initial requests from law enforcement had generated tens of thousands of tips during the first weeks of the investigation, especially after the release of the suspect video on February 10th. But now it is day 25, and credible leads look to be drying up amid apparently dwindling odds of identifying the suspect through DNA. Sources tell News Nation the biological evidence found inside Guthrie's home was only a partial sample and was not viable for CODIS, the FBI's criminal database system. Though the Sheriff's Department and the FBI continue to work around the clock, Savannah's heartbreaking video message acknowledged the possibility that her mother is no longer alive. But she urged everybody to please keep praying without ceasing, that they still believe in a miracle. And with the DNA, Marky, there is still a possibility with the genetic genealogy process. Marky?
That one line that stuck out to me yesterday from Savannah, she said that she and her family are just blowing on the embers of hope here. I thought that was just so profound. We also hear, Nancy, that there's been a problem with trespassing on the Guthrie property. What's being done about that?
You kidding me?
Yeah, we were out here yesterday when we saw a bunch of crews arriving, and they were putting up signs, and one of them is right behind me here next to the driveway. It's a clear no trespassing sign. The Sheriff's Department says the Guthrie family requested this after trespassing became an issue shortly after the property was released as a crime scene, which was just 3 or 4 days after the kidnapping. And in recent days, some
so they're going back,
putting on their own searches, leading to trespassing incidents throughout the neighborhood. The Sheriff's Department has actually discouraged citizen searches, urging well-intentioned people to leave that searching process to law enforcement professionals.
Yes.
Marky?
Yeah, this whole time I can't believe there hasn't been more of a perimeter put around the house, but I'm sure there are reasons for that. Nancy, Lou, thank you so much, and please keep us posted.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download.
Insane. So many leads and tips coming into them. That is wild. Going back live on the scene. We're going to go back and forth between the live coverage and some of these stories that are coming in hot off the presses.
Florida, right? And then you come out to Arizona and you want to search. It's two completely different things. We have the best search teams in the world out here because of this terrain.
Yeah.
I mean, right now, if anyone wants to go look up Arizona search groups, you know.
There's plenty. Here that are fully capable. If needed, they could do it.
Exactly.
If you called upon, they would do it. This is an interesting development.
No,
this to me, like, with the feds have not ever been here since we've been here. Have you ever seen the feds here like this since you've been here?
Go ahead.
And you were here days.
Go ahead.
No, I mean, you saw the picture I posted, and the video with that. This place was just empty, except for the white car. And unless the feds came within that 2 or 3 day period,
is there any evidence
like
left?
this. I think this is the fresh eyes.
I think it's the fresh eyes.
New investigators. So we're going to jump over to Harvey, who's always got the scoop on this one.
Photo of Nancy Guthrie's kidnapper taken some days before she was abducted has resulted in no leads. We have been talking with FBI sources who are telling us that the way they got this photo was through Google, because Nancy did not have a subscription for video from Nest.
How does that happen?
They were actually able to obtain it from Google the way they did the video. But because there's no video subscription, there was no timestamp on this. So based on their investigation, they believe that the photo could have been taken on January 11th. This is weeks before the kidnapping, but they're not sure of that. It could have been January 11th.
Yeah,
that
call
is
the
an
tip
operating
line.
theory.
Call
they
the
are
FBI
not
tip line.
sure of that. They
I
want to
can't
make
do
that
anything
clear.
about it.
We know that they have swept the area for video from neighbors, anywhere they could get it. It has resulted in no leads with respect to identifying a vehicle or a suspect. They are frustrated about this. Now, I do want to say one other thing. Cash Patel had said
anybody who has tips,
shortly
call
after
the
the
hotline.
kidnapping that photo was taken.
Because I can't do anything if you have some tip. Call the FBI hotline. It's available internationally.
The day of the kidnapping, that is incorrect. We know that. It was taken before the kidnapping, but again, the operating theory, January 11th, they're not certain of that. Let's talk about Savannah's new video where she says the family is offering $1 million and acknowledging that it would be a miracle if her mom is still alive. We are told the FBI never told the family.
Thank you, Quack Pack, for the 10 jewels.
The chances of
Appreciate
finding their mom alive was slim to none. They never said anything about it. This is something that the family kind of came to terms with on their own, we're told. The FBI's $100,000 reward still stands. So $1.1 million is on the table right now, leading to the return of Nancy Guthrie. The FBI wants people to call it, not necessarily calling PEMA, because you then have two law enforcement agencies, you have cross signals, so it's 1-800-CALL-FBI.
There you go.
They want serious leads
1-800-CALL-FBI.
only, and they want to make it clear, anybody who's trying to scam the Guthrie family, they will be prosecuted. The last thing, and something I think is very interesting, is I spoke with one source from the FBI who said the reality is this is becoming a cold case. But that doesn't mean it's over. And this source was talking about something that we've seen many times, where you could have a kidnapper at a bar one night drinking and then bragging about what he or she did.
I don't know about that.
You could have a girlfriend of the kidnapper at the time who then becomes an ex-girlfriend who knows information and goes to authorities. Or that girlfriend could be the one to actually, go to a bar, go to a store, go somewhere and either talk about it directly or insinuate something that is interesting enough to pursue. So even though this is becoming a cold case, and it is clearly one of the reasons why the Guthrie family has upped the reward, that doesn't mean it's over. As what FBI source put it, it just takes that one person, and they believe it's going to happen at some point.
Hey guys, hit that
One
like
person
button and help me out with that.
opens his
Appreciate
or
you
her
guys.
mouth,
Thank you
and
for
the
being
case
here. Welcome.
cracks wide open.
Wow. They do need to crack the case wide open for sure. So let's go back to the live shot. I don't know why it keeps sliding out of the frame like that. Here we go.
Feds at the house here, law enforcement presence here at Nancy Guthrie's home. They now have been here, I would say, getting close to an hour and a half at the home here. SUVs, black SUVs. They're here, and we're just waiting to see what is going on. front of Nancy Guthrie's.
Big shout out to JLR, as usual. I don't think any of them figured this would go for 25 days, to be honest. I didn't. But this is not what kidnappers do. They want the money.
Yes, they're back.
Put a 1 in the chat if you think. Hey, put a 1 in the chat if you think this was an inside job. Put a 2 in the chat if you think this is how they're spinning it. 1 if you think it's an inside job. 2 if you think they're being for real and they can't find anything.
Could this be the major break in this case? A fresh set of eyes. New eyes back at the scene here.
But they're not quitting, I like that. And they're coming. I have a feeling at some point, not getting enough help, but at some point, they're going to consider
New set of eyes on the case.
So I want all of you to
No breaks in this case.
I think this is a huge development, folks, that the FBI is here at Nancy Guthrie's home.
That is true. This is a huge development in the case. I'm sure you can take care of that. Thank you. Thank you for the TMI. Classy.
I'm going to tell you, I believe the last 24 to 48 hours
That was funny.
has been very significant between the sheriff and also the FBI. Because what I'm looking at right now, and again, we are live on 8:15 on the night. You can also watch Facebook and also YouTube. That is that very much unannounced FBI investigators have rolled out here at the home of Nancy Guthrie. They have been walking around the outside. They have been incessant. Now this also tells me that someone that has been here since week 1. Now this is the first that I've seen. And on top of that, I believe that the sheriff was keeping them at bay. They had to just go off any information that the sheriff's had. But it sure seems as though the FBI, you can imagine, they want to come out and do their own investigation with their investigators. Now again, I recognize some people don't understand the dynamic of that and how it does become turf war.
And why Nancy Guthrie?
About that behind the scenes.
That's the question that just keeps ringing and ringing in my head. Why Nancy Guthrie? Why this 80-plus-year-old woman?
To me, someone got to the sheriff. As of right now, they're nowhere with this investigation. And they're not. They don't have any suspects. I want to also reiterate, and again, I want to
Thank you.
I do want to thank so many of our
Members taking advantage of the members-only emojis. We appreciate it.
Remember, check them out online. Propane, if you're having problems. Use propane. We want to go with propane.
Jonah Hill. In the emoji. That's funny. Jonah Swill. Now let's jump to another angle here because we have more than one independent journalist and we want to give them all some support. So this is Dad's Gone Live. Dad's Gone Live with a different angle. Right, but then somebody would have to know, right? I believe that's quite possible. I've heard reports of that.
All right, we're back, guys. I went over to talk to Brian real quick. Did you guys get pictures of these guys earlier?
Yeah.
I haven't seen them come back out.
They were up here, then they went back there, and that they haven't come back out.
That lady almost reminds me of Michael Jackson.
She does kind of.
Yeah.
She's the one that came in the white truck that they went to go pick up.
See, I got here after they were already here.
Yeah.
Guys are going inside, watch out.
Yeah, somebody told me guys.
Don't take my shot, brother. Shot blockers. That's all right. We had a pretty good shot this whole time, so.
You can still see.
More Pima County Sheriff arriving at the house. They might have found something different with some new eyes on the case.
Yay, we still got a shot. Let's go. That's actually almost looks better with the flag on the truck.
Thank you, everybody, for joining me today. Hit that like button, subscribe, maybe share it out with a friend.
Yeah, take one guy could take the other guy.
Coco, thank you so much for the 30 joules and the clutch.
So for those of you guys, that followed me for a long time, you guys all know I have my dog named Ruger, and that I left him at home. And
Deanna, thank you. Deanna, thank you so much for the 100 joules and the high five. Boop. All right.
Know that
double tap that device to hit the like or hit the like button. Help me out with that, guys. Another 268 joules from Deanna. Thank you so much.
Dog just went doo-doo in my garage, under my Jeep. Like, really? Who does that? I blame my mom because she's the one that's been her and my grandpa have been checking on my dog. I blame them because I know they probably gave my dog some treats that made him have to go to the bathroom. It is what it is.
That's Dad's going live. We're going back to JLR. Why is this framed like this? That's weird. Okay. Here we go. Deanna, thank you so much for the hot cocoa and 600 joules. Hello, thank you. Big time.
I have one of that. got two. I got the bigger one right now.
Yeah, and then you could get
A lot of jewels. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Works all day, right? Pretty much. On the Starlink, nah, it goes about 6 hours on Starlink. Yeah.
We're still in the first hour. Let's get to 100 likes, guys.
You're not paying $700 for the bigger one.
Yeah. Yeah, mine was like $400, $500. I can't take it on a plane. You can't take them on planes. Yeah. So the best bet sometimes when you're on the road is you just buy one at Harbor Rights and you take it back. I'm sorry?
People ask me why I drive everywhere and not fly.
Yeah, because of that.
Same reasons I can't take it with me on the plane.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
another hot cocoa.
All right, folks. I was just talking to IRT Media. Go check him out. He's out here in different areas and stuff like that. We're
Another
just putting
hot
our heads
cocoa
together.
for 600 jewels. Thank you again, Deanna.
Out in
Deanna's
front
beat.
of Nancy Guthrie's home here. And we have a law enforcement presence with FBI here and multiple vehicles.
IRT's out there? Okay.
It's just a wait and see, man. They come out with boxes.
Jen with 100 jewels. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Panda,
they
Panda.
probably
Thank
got
you.
assigned to different locations. But you know, one thing that I thought of, what if the intruder was staying in the back house? Because no one would check that.
At one point?
Well, maybe
during the course of the crime?
That's, yeah.
Kind of waiting?
You know. If they're back there looking, why would they be looking in that bunkhouse? Whatever it is. It's like a little casita. What would be the reason that they would need to go in there if nothing occurred?
That thing just posted out. FBI says it received 1,500 tips since yesterday's Savannah video, offering $1 million reward.
100 tips.
Nice.
So people want that $1 million.
You post that.
I know, right, Rebecca? To not check everything thoroughly, they have to go back. Well, there are new eyes on the case. So it's likely the new investigators wanting to go to the scene. They may have found something or want to take a second look. Some of them are first look. Let's jump over to IRT Media, who has been so great. So this is from IRT Media. I think we'll jump back to JLR because he's got some commentary going right now.
Top. Yeah.
Maybe
I'll
some
look
new
into that,
information.
Sparky 0909. I'm going to screenshot this, and thank you. The porch carriage lights look like they have broken glass. Wonder if the perp unscrewed the bulbs. Ellie should swab them for DNA, in my opinion. Keep up the good work out there. Yeah, there's two of them out there. So,
all right, let's jump back over here. So now we're over. Wait, no, over here. Some of the agents.
All right, guys, a little update. Agents what appear to be federal agents. Nothing has been confirmed yet. None of them are willing to come out and speak. They all went back up to the SUVs right now, and they're going to get ready to leave the property.
Those are feds. Hit that like button if you enjoy this kind of coverage, and subscribe to the channel. We're almost at 30K subs. Cool. Over 30,000 views on this video so far. Thank you so much, guys. And they are Oscar, Mike. They are on the move. What are we going to do here, guys? Can you get the caravan going? Highly trained agents. Going out the driveway. There we go. That's got it. There we go. Live from the scene. Federal agents now departing. Federal agents now leaving the Guthrie home. And we can catch it from another angle here from their departure. Federal agents leaving the Guthrie home, escorted by the Pima County Sheriff. Oh, or the Pima County Sheriff is getting out of the way. The federal Suburbans.
Okay, so we don't know who was in the room. All right, they left. They left. They left. But it could be still people here because the white car is still here.
I don't know, John.
But there's still that white car down there in the back, the white SUV.
We never saw police in the garage.
Some of the federal agents that swarmed the Guthrie home this morning have now departed. There's still some investigators there. Thank you. Thank you for joining me. Hit that like button, guys. The likes are free, and they help the channel a lot, so I appreciate you. So let's jump to another part of the story.
So the three ones left, but the white one is still in the back.
So we're going to jump to another part of this story. And this is about the suspect being there on 2 different days.
Now, I will tell you, this might explain why investigators have been asking Nancy's neighbors to check the security footage going all the way back to January 1st. There is something very odd about all this. I mean, there's a lot odd about this, but this one, when FBI Director Kash Patel released the doorbell, the cam footage, the images, he said they were all, quote, the morning of her, from her, the quote, the morning of her disappearance. So were the feds trying to keep some key information close to the chest? Was this a mistake? Were they having some technical problems when they went to recover that old footage? That timing could prove critical to a case that from the outside seems to be stalling, because as we approach a month without answers, every second counts. Joining me now live from Arizona with the latest is News Nation senior national correspondent Brian Enton. Brian, always good to have you. Here's my initial thought of this. If this is the same person, I got to say, I find it a little odd that when this person first makes their appearance, right, they are not entirely sure. I mean, they see the camera, then the next time they seem to be confused about the camera, right? I'm not entirely sure this is the same person. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, it's a good point, Jesse, and we don't know if it's the same person. You know, we were really analyzing the photos, and it appears the jacket in one could be different than the jacket in the other, but it's hard to tell for sure because it's obviously dark out, and the infrared and the lighting, and you know, it's hard to be certain, but it could be a different jacket. But this is really a bombshell report, and we have, you know, News Nation has sources that have confirmed that these pictures are from different dates. The picture with the backpack on the right side of the screen from the morning when Nancy Guthrie was kidnapped, and then on the left side of the screen from a previous day. We haven't nailed down exactly what day that is. They're not telling us that part of it. But I will tell you, and this is the first thing I thought of when this new reporting came out, is that the deputies and the FBI agents, Jesse, were specifically asking the neighbors right on the street for any video that they had from the night on January 11th. And that date kept coming up over and over again. The neighbors were telling me they're very interested in January 11th, which is just interesting because is that perhaps when this other photo was taken? Is that how they knew the guy was in the neighborhood? Is that why they're so interested in January 11th? And that's weeks before Nancy's kidnapping on February 1st, which would mean this guy was casing the house for weeks, Jesse.
But what's also strange about it is they were asking the neighbors for surveillance footage all the way from January 1st. So maybe they're just trying to do a wide kind of net to see if they saw anything. You've spoken to neighbors. Have they seen anything suspicious? Have they ever seen anybody looking like this?
No. I mean, this is a very quiet neighborhood. This is a very upscale, you know, nothing happens here. In fact, I was just talking to a former detective who worked this area and said, you know, there was one year they only had 2 calls for service in this entire neighborhood, which is a big neighborhood, within the whole year, which gives you an idea of just they're not used to anything bad happening here. And I've told you before, I mean, it's so dark. There's no way they would have seen someone walking down the street anyway at this time of night or any time during the night because it's just pitch black.
What I'm about to ask you, I want to be very clear. I want to make this caveat. I'm not trying to criticize law enforcement. I'm not in their shoes. I never want to do that as part of an investigation. I'm just incredibly confused as to when they learned this information and when they decided, because let's be clear, they haven't officially told us that this is an image from another date, right? I mean, Sheriff Nanos even said this new information didn't come from him. But you can see the confusion because you have Kash Patel, who, when originally they released the images, said it was all from the same time. Sheriff Nanos says it didn't come from them. Do you have any clarity about what is going on there in terms of law enforcement when they learned about these images or what they're saying about these images?
I mean, it's a good question. Look, so we obviously have sources at News Nation. One of them is my sources who has confirmed that, you know, these are from different dates. But we're not the only ones reporting this. I saw Fox reporting the same thing, ABC, CNN. Everyone has confirmed this reporting independently within the last couple of hours. And what's interesting is the Pima County Sheriff just put out a statement right before we came on the air, basically denying all of this, saying we're aware that the doorbell images released earlier in the investigation depict a suspect in different stages of attire. There is no date or timestamp associated with these images. Therefore, any suggestion that the photographs were taken on different days is purely speculative, which just kind of goes back to the point you were making. You know, are these different agencies all on the same page? I mean, we confirmed a couple of days ago, remember, that they were going in the gun shops with 60 photos and 60 names. And these are the gun shop, several different gun shop employees and owners telling us this. And then the sheriff flat out said that just was not true. They weren't doing it, which I don't know. It's hard to keep track of because it's like, no, we were there. So I don't know if they just don't want the information to get out. So it's kind of like deny, deny, deny. We don't know.
Because why is he wearing a backpack and not wearing a backpack? And by the way, if you can confirm, okay, it's the same person from the same day, come out and say it. I mean, it's the same thing when we talk about why won't they officially say there was forced entry or not. again, I understand in any investigation you have to be careful about what you tell the media and what you have to tell the public to not jeopardize it. But it's aspects of this that just leave people with a lot of questions. Let's talk about what might be happening on the ground. I understand that there are now volunteer-led search parties trying to find Nancy. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so that was there's a busy component to the weekend with the volunteer search parties. And it's the first time we've ever seen that, Jesse. They organized, they got together yesterday, and they searched this entire area. They went into ravines. It's kind of treacherous terrains. There's there's cactuses everywhere. There's these tunnels that they went deep into. They actually found a backpack at one point, called the Pima County Sheriff. The sheriff came and picked up the backpack. Didn't appear to be the backpack from the photos.
It's cacti.
Of the suspect, but nonetheless, they were searching, and the sheriff's office actually put out a statement saying, look, please don't interfere with law enforcement. You may need a permit. Don't go on private property. Almost kind of like telling people not to search in a sense, which was kind of interesting. But nonetheless, they got out and they were searching.
That's unusual, particularly with a case like this, I'll say, because the more eyeballs, the better, particularly if you don't have a clear sense of where she is, or even if you're finding new information like the gloves, or you're finding, obviously the backpack wasn't connected at this point, but talk to me about the DNA, right? So we're all waiting to hear back about whether or not there is a hit for genetic genealogy, right? If there was the DNA on the glove potentially in the house that was submitted to a public database, find a familial match, a relative of that suspect, the masked person, you use other evidence you find in an investigation, narrow it down. There's some people say you might get a hit back in a couple days, a few weeks. Every case is different. Have you heard anything on the ground about how they're doing with that DNA?
Well, it's not good news, Jesse. The sheriff said that they're having challenges. That's the way he described the challenges. Remember, they sent the DNA to their private lab in Florida that the sheriff's office uses. The FBI wanted it to go to Quantico, but the sheriff decided to send it to Florida. Now he says they're having challenges because the DNA is mixed. And he said over the weekend that the issues could be a delay of weeks, months, but then he said, or even a year. Which was sort of shocking for everybody who's been following this case closely because, we were hoping that they were going to get these results back somewhat quickly.
Where the dog?
That is not time that Nancy has. That is not time that her family wants to hear. That is awful, awful. I hope they're wrong. Brian Enton, thank you so much. Great reporting as always. It's just so sad to be thinking about.
Thanks,
All
Jesse.
right. Now we got to go to tonight's other big stories, okay? A ton of news coming out of Washington.
Wow, that is something else. We're going to jump back to the live here, live outside of the Guthrie home. Several developments today. The FBI showing up. Some of them are still there. The media has swarmed the home of Nancy Guthrie. And this is a live shot. We just saw some of the agents leaving. And now the media just kicks back and waits for the other guys to leave the house. Any clue that suggests inside help, a known visitor, or a rehearsed plan? Perhaps looking at some overlooked trace evidence, blood spatter, fibers, prints, hair, tool marks. Things of this nature. Signs of staging.
You look up Pima County court records.
Things that look normal, but after a second look may have been carefully arranged.
Is there a site to check the court records in Pima County?
Some of the things they could be looking for now.
Yeah. You could probably put it out, and there's lots of people that are good with navigating in justice. They can find the case number. I don't know how we can find the case number. But if you send that to
Does this mean they suspect someone close?
they can pull that.
as they are refocusing on the home. It often, raises questions about people who had free access to it.
All right, well, we're back out here at the scene, Nancy Guthrie's, and there's still someone out there inside the house, and we'll stay here until we find out what's going on. And why do you think the feds were here today? Share exactly what you think.
And as we share that image with you, we are going to go again to Harvey from just a moment ago. Within the last hour, Harvey has a new drop here for everybody.
TMZ Live. Savannah Guthrie is now acknowledging what a lot of people have been whispering. We are now at day 24 since Nancy Guthrie's disappearance, abduction, and she said pretty clearly and starkly, it will take a miracle to find her mom alive. Savannah posted something new today, upping the reward, but listen to just how dark and stark the situation is, and we're going to get into the fact that this is becoming very quickly a cold case.
It is day 24 since our mom was taken in the dark of night from her bed. We still believe in a miracle. We still believe that she can come home. She may already be gone.
Ugh.
She may have already gone home to the Lord that she loves. And if this is what is to be, then we will accept it. But we need to know where she is. We need her to come home. We are offering a family reward of up to $1 million for any information that leads us to her recovery.
The fact that she's now saying, essentially, Nancy Guthrie probably is not alive, is not something that was planted or told to the family by law enforcement. Our law enforcement sources, our FBI sources, are telling us that this is a conclusion that was drawn by the family itself and not with the help of law enforcement or law enforcement saying, look, the situation is bleak. Everybody kind of knows it, but this is an elderly woman who has medical issues, and the handwriting is kind of on the wall, and as Savannah says, it's going to take a miracle. So she has upped the reward, and a lot of people are talking today about this photograph, a photograph of the presumed kidnapper, and this was sometime before.
Help me out and hit that like button, guys. Thank you so much for joining me.
The actual abduction on February 1st. If you look, he's wearing the same jacket. Seems like he's wearing the same clothes. He does not have the backpack on or a gun, something he had in the video that we've seen and in that still photo on the right, that it is something different. And it was not taken that day, February 1st. Now, our law enforcement sources are saying they believe it was taken January 11th, nearly a month before the actual abduction. But they are not certain of that. It turns out Nancy's Nest system, she didn't pay for a video subscription. So she didn't have video in her system. But Google, which apparently owns Nest, is able to retrieve some of it, which is how law enforcement got these images. They think, based on their investigation, that January 11th is when it was shot or when they got that picture, but it was not time-stamped. So it's a working theory. But whatever their theory is, our law enforcement sources, and they are sources directly connected to the investigation, involved in the investigation, they are saying that none of these images have produced any real leads. They do not have a car. They don't have a suspected getaway car. They don't have a suspect yet. This person has been able to evade authorities in a way I have rarely seen in my career. I saw it in the 70s and 80s, before the internet, before Ring video and all. But this is unbelievable that you can't trace a ransom note, you can't trace the reward demand, you can't figure out from video who these people are or this person is. You can't find anything on surveillance video. It is like the invisible man.
Totally. And it's really disheartening that, I mean, a lot of people are saying, you know, how come it took 24 days for even the family to put up this $1 million reward? But the reality is we don't know what's going on behind the scenes, why there's a reason for everything. I'm sure this is a super sensitive situation. But, you know, for the past several weeks here, it's been every day has been kind of lots of updates. And in the past few days, it's been this lull, and it's starting to feel very much like, is this ever going to get solved?
The lull has really been going on the whole time. It's just, it's not the way it's been reported.
No, exactly.
They have just hit dead end after dead end after dead end. They have no leads today. And look, I have talked to sources in law enforcement, one FBI source in particular who's saying, look, this
doesn't matter what we think, it matters what the facts are and what can be confirmed.
That feels very disheartening, but this person had some really interesting, an interesting take on this. That in 4 or 5 months, somebody's going to go to a bar and drink a little bit.
I don't know.
And then just start gabbing. And we saw this, I'll give you an example, with Kobe Bryant.
I don't know about that theory.
If you remember, the way they found out that some of the sheriff's deputies were taking cell phone videos of the accident scene was one of the deputies apparently went to a bar and tried to pick up a woman and started bragging he has this video, and the bartender overheard it and called authorities.
Oh my God.
So that is something that authorities, that the FBI thinks is going to happen, that somebody's going to talk. And if it's not the kidnapper, it could be the kidnapper's girlfriend today, who isn't going to be the girlfriend in 6 months and is going to grouse to somebody, my ex did this.
I mean, we've seen that, and anyone that watches like true crime shows, like real life cases, that has happened time and time again. It's just somebody kind of slips up, and then if you hear something, say something.
Yeah, and that's, they really believe it. It's not, this is not kind of, you know, this kind of foolhardy idea. They really believe that that somebody is going to say something, and all they need is that one tip, and it's going to crack this case wide open.
Hi, Kristen from Boston. I am really curious why they waited so long for the reward money to come out. We live in a society that people are very motivated by money, and everybody has technology at their fingertips. So I'm really curious why they did this, and maybe the lesson will be that in the future to move quicker, to move faster, to put the big reward money out there sooner.
Yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying, but you got to remember, you don't know what they know. And it's not like they were being cheap and they said, we're not going to offer money because we just don't want to pay. That is not the Guthrie family. You know.
That's true. I mean, you know, kidnappers want the money. So let's jump over to this story about the surge of investigators that we were just watching.
We begin this hour with breaking news happening outside of Nancy Guthrie's home. 25 days into this investigation, there is now a surge of investigators at the house. The family is now offering that $1 million reward, which is generating hundreds of new tips. And those new tips may have sparked now the most activity we have seen at the home in weeks. Let's get right out to correspondent Nancy Liu live on the ground there in Tucson. Nancy, describe what has happened out there so far today.
Yeah, it's been pretty sudden. It's been in the past hour, just a surge of law enforcement activity here, the most we've seen in well over a week. And just minutes ago, we saw investigators peering out from inside the house, the window right next to the front door. I saw an investigator peering out. He seemed to be talking with other investigators right inside the entrance
Yeah, I
of
agree.
the
Fishy
home.
since day one, no
So
doubt.
there seems to be quite a focus on that front door. We also saw investigators walk up to the exterior of that front porch area. And of course, that is where that doorbell surveillance camera video has been from. We've seen the images of the suspect in this case, the masked man with a gun holstered in the front of his body. But we saw the federal officers arriving less than an hour ago. They were in unmarked cars. One vehicle appeared to pull straight into the garage before the others went around and entered the home. So they have been inside the home now for probably 30 minutes, almost 40 minutes.
From a
but
little
this
earlier.
is significant activity. And of course, Nicole, this comes 24 hours after the new $1 million reward in this case. The FBI telling us that it did draw last night up to 750 new possible leads in this case. And this may be one of those tips panning out. So significant law enforcement activity, and hopefully this is a sign of a big break in this case.
Well, that would be nice to see a big break in this case. Let's jump back over to the live shot.
You know what happened here? Do you think they were just
I mean,
doing
I think we'd all like to see a big break in this case.
It's not like they came out with boxes.
Yeah.
It's all right. We heard drilling
I go by the big
with the first white truck.
I gotta go.
Really? Yes. We got Monkey over there at Annie's. Nothing's going on at Annie's? He would have let us know if something was going on at Annie's.
No, he hasn't texted.
We didn't get the text.
What about Luke's or the other guys?
I don't know.
I'll go there past Luke's.
Luke's.
But I think I'm gonna take off. I'll be back later. If something pops off, I'll come back, or if not, I'll be out tonight.
Sounds good.
All right, later, guys. Later, Joe.
See you, dude.
See ya.
Later. Good seeing you today, man.
Getting you shot one more time, get out of the way. I'm gonna shut down, guys, and restart off a little bit.
So how could this feed directly into warrants, arrests, or renewed interest in earlier cleared persons of interest? You know, just because people were detained doesn't mean that they're not
like wow, though, right?
going to be detained again. So the FBI walking back into Nancy Guthrie's home. At this stage, it's not business as usual. It's a sign that the first scene in this story still holds questions that haven't been fully answered. So whether this becomes the moment that the case finally cracks or just another painful reminder of how complex this is, it depends on what those agents carry out of that front door. So until we see evidence of a real break and arrest, a confirmed lead, a public shift in what investigators are saying, we're in that tense space between hope and dread. Either way, every move in that house matters. It's just the last place we know Nancy was before everything for her possibly went dark. So I'm going to be watching for any of these credible updates, official statements, new search locations, or signs that this house and the search is tied to a bigger play. Wow. Make sure you're subscribed, turn on all the notifications, and hit the like so this breakdown keeps getting pushed while we're off air. Drop your final thoughts. Hey, everybody drop a comment in the comment box, and let's get that conversation going. Does the FBI re-entering Nancy's home make you believe a major break is coming, or that investigators are still looking for something they should have seen from day one? So thank you for watching, guys. Stay respectful in the comments, and remember, behind every forensic sweep and every press conference, there is an 84-year-old woman whose life still hangs in the balance. Thank you, mods. Thank you for everybody for the gifts and the jewels, the super chats, the memberships. I do appreciate you supporting the channel. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and share. Remember, truth is a moving target, and I will see you on the next one.